149. Okay. So finally, we are on the last stretch of the Book of Genesis. Hindi ko alam kung ilang linggo natin o ilang buwan nating inano the Book of Genesis. Pero hindi naman tayo nagsimula sa Genesis 1, di ba? We did not, ano?
Nagsimula tayo sa Genesis 1.
Genesis 1
Genesis 1 talaga tayo. 1, 2, 3 yan eh.
Oo,
Sige.
nagsimula tayo.
Kala ko nag-ano tayo eh.
Nag-skip ka.
Nag-skip tayo eh. Okay.
Wala.
Yeah. So finally, we are now on 48. Let's look on 48, Loy. Ano?
Teka ha?
Version.
Anong
Okay,
gusto
we are in ano pa rin, si Joseph, di ba? At nakita na sila ng kanyang anak, kanyang ama na si Jacob. Then yun sa 47. And then, nung nakita sila ni Jacob, ay biniles ni Jacob si Pharaoh, di ba? Alam niyo ba na yung kapatid ni Jacob na si Esau ay mas mayaman kaysa sa kanya during this time? Siya ay naging hari ng Edomites eh. So in one time, itong si Esau, dinalaw niya yung Pharaoh. Di ba? Although mayaman siya, pero hindi niya biniles. Hindi niya kayang i-bless yung Pharaoh. Di ba? Even though he has a lots of money. Pero itong si Jacob, di ba? Jacob has sabihin yung the capacity na i-bless niya ang Pharaoh, and Pharaoh, di ba? Talagang nag-ano siya, sabihin, inano siya na i-bless siya ni Jacob, di ba? That is because of Joseph, di ba? So yung 47, kasi yung 40, sabi niya, sometime later, di ba? Sometime later.
17 years up.
Sometime later.
O ibig sabihin niyan, yung between 47 and 48, ilan, Loy?
17 years.
Mga 17 years yan, di ba? Ang nangyari kasi, di ba, yung famine naging severe, di ba? Naging lumala. So ang nangyari, yung mga Egyptians nawalan na ng mga pera or actually silver or gold. Wala na silang pambili. Tapos hanggang sa wala na rin silang yung mga herds nila, yung mga animals nila, ibinenta nila kay Pharaoh. And then nung wala na, ibinenta nila yung kanilang lupain. Nung wala na silang naging slaves na sila, 'di ba? Doon nag-survive yung mga tao during that time, ano? Now after these things, sabi niya, sometimes later, Joseph was told, your father is ill. Sabi niya, ibig sabihin si Joseph, nasan ngayon yung mga nandun sila si Jacob, nasa Goshen sila. So Goshen, pero si Joseph wala dun sa Goshen, hindi siya nagstay doon eh. Balik pa rin siya doon kay Pharaoh. Saan ba yan? Sa Cairo, di ba?
Sa Cairo.
Sa Cairo, di ba?
Capital city.
Capital city sa ngayon yon, di ba? So he was so engrossed sa kanyang trabaho. So hindi niya siguro masyadong nadalaw yung kanyang father. So someone told to him that your son
Joseph.
No. Your father is ill, may sakit na. So he took his two sons, tinan nyo, si Manasseh and Ephraim. So ibig sabihin nito, pag ganyan, si Manasseh siya ang panganay and Ephraim siya yung bunso. Tandaan nyo yan, along with him. So bakit niyang dinala? So probably, yung father niya is really very ill. Di ba? On the verge of dying na yan. Yeah? Kaya nga dinala niya yung two sons. Very important yon. Kasi, yung nga, mamamatay na si Jacob dyan eh, no? When Jacob was told, di ba? So, andun sila, paparating na raw si Joseph. Sabi niya, when Jacob was told, somebody tell to Jacob that your son Joseph has come to you. Okay? Israel or Jacob rallied his strength. Ibig sabihin, mahina na siya nung naraman niyang parating yung kanyang anak, pinilit niyang magpakatatag, sabihin.
Pinilit niyang
Pinilit
umupo.
niya yung sarili niya, 'di ba? Umupo and sat, 'di ba? Up on the bed, 'di ba? So talagang pinilit niya, 'di ba? So bakit? Teka, dito natin malalaman sa verse 3. Okay. Jacob said to Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and then He blessed me. Okay, tigil muna tayo doon. Actually, uulitin lang ni Jacob yung nangyari dito sa Luz. Ito yung Luz, na-remember nyo this in chapter 28, 'di ba? Nung nagalit si Esau kay Jacob, ha? So ang ginawa ni Isaac, pumunta ka muna doon sa uncle mo kay Laban.
Genesis 17.
Kay Laban. Doon ka at hindi ka pwede mag-asawa ng Canaanites, doon ka maghanap ng asawa, 'di ba? Nung naandun na siya, nung papunta pa lang siya doon, 'di ba? Yung nakatulog siya, 'di ba? Tapos yung kanyang unan ay rock. Natandaan niyo ba 'yon?
Rock.
Oo. Tapos na naginip siya ng merong ladder na na papunta from earth papunta doon sa heaven, sa kalangitan. At nakikita niya yung mga angels up and down, up and down. At doon sa pagpanik niya doon sa taas na andun yung Lord, ito yung sinabi sa kanya. Ha? It was in Luz. Appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and there He blessed me and said to me, I am going to make you fruitful and increase your number. I will make you a community of people, and I will give this land an everlasting possession to your descendants after you. Ito yung sinabi ni dun sa Luz, sa chapter Genesis 28. Exactly the same. Di ba? Parang kasi ito guys, parang si Jacob nagmamaalam niya, kailangan i-transfer niya. Ha? Kailangan malaman ni Joseph kung ano yung sinabi ng God sa kanya. Di ba? So, inulit lang niya. And then on verse 5, now then, your two sons born to you in Egypt before I came to you, where he will be reckoned as mine. Ang ibig sabihin nito, yung dalawang anak mo na ipinanganak sa Egypt, sabi niya, I came to you here, will be reckoned as mine. Ano ibig sabihin? Aakuin akin yan.
Yeah.
Hindi lang, bukod sa kanyang grandson yun, hindi grandson na anak ko. Ha? Anak ko. Di ba? Sabi niya, kumbaga sa aampunin ko yan as anak ko. Hindi apo. Ha? Di ba? Ephraim, Manasseh will be mine. Di ba? Kanya na. Di ba? Bakit? Talaga nyo guys, bakit? Tignan nyo tuloy ko lang yung verse 5 Just as Reuben, sino yung Reuben? Yan yung panganay niyang anak. And Simeon, yun yung susunod kay Reuben are mine. Sinabi niya. Ano sa palagay nyo, bakit niya gustong kunin na anak niya yung dalawa?
Brother Mike, para mabigyan niya ng inheritance.
Oo.
Kasi pag nasa kanya na-adapt niya, sa kanya na yun He can give inheritance.
Yeah. In the context, dito yung sinasabi ko sa verse 3 and verse 4, yung pinaramis ni God sa kanya. Kasi dito niya dito niya kay Joseph, itong dalawang anak niya ito yung magpaparami. Guys, ito yung mga yon. 'Di ba? Hindi kay Reuben and Simeon. Malalaman niyan natin yan sa mamaya sa chapter 49, 'di ba? Any children, tandaan nyo guys si Ephraim and Manasseh, it's not a pure blood Jew yan 'di ba? Ang nanay niya Egyptian ang nanay niya. 'Di ba? ang napangasawa ni Joseph ay anak ng isang Egyptian priest. Diba? Ibinigay nga ni Pero yan hindi siya nakatanggi eh. So he's not a pure Jew, 'di ba? So may blood siya ng na Egypt, 'di ba? Egyptian. Any children born to you after them will be yours. So nanganak ba siya?
Oo.
Nagkaroon ba pala siya ng anak si
Joseph.
Joseph after tong dalawang ito. Iyon, pag nanganak, nagkaroon ka ng ng anak doon, sa'yo na yon. Pero itong dalawa, it's mine. Akin yan, di ba? In the territory they inherit, they will be reckoned under the names of their brothers. Diba? 7. As I was returning from Paddan, to my sorrow, Rachel died in the land of Canaan while we were still on the way. So, in-relate lang ni Joseph na nung yung kanyang true love, si Rachel, died in the land of Canaan. We were still on the way, a little distance from Ephrath. So, I buried her there besides the road to Ephrath. Mayan, malaman natin yan bakit ito binanggit, di ba? Nung namatay na si Jacob, di ba? 8. When Israel or Jacob saw that the son of Joseph, he asked, "Who are these?" Di ba? Sino to? Di ba? 9. They are the sons God has given me here. Joseph said to his father. Okay. Then Israel said, "Bring them to me so I may bless them." Guys, tandaan nyo ba? Nung dinisib ni Jacob si Esau, di ba? Tandaan niyo 'yon? Yung nagpanggap siya na na siya yung panganay, di ba? Na-deceive siya, di ba? Parang ganito yung mangyayari dito yan eh. Then Israel said, "Bring to me so I may bless them." Kasi importante si kanina yung bless. Talagang ibig sabihin, lalong-lalo na sa mga panganay. Kailangan sila yung susunod talaga during that time. Pero tinan nyo ang nangyari, di ba? Now Israel's eyes were failing, di ba? Ibig sabihin, medyo malabo na. Because of all. Tandaan nyo, remember nyo si Isaac? Di ba? Nung dinisib ni Jacob at saka yung nanay niya,
Rebecca.
Si Rebecca, hindi ba? Medyo malabo na yung niya eh, malabo yung mata na niya, amoy na nga lang ang di ba? O by touching the hand, Now Israel eyes were failing because of old age and he could hardly see. Hindi siya masyado makakita. So Joseph brought his sons close to him and his father kissed them and embraced them. So nagyakap sila. Then Israel said to Joseph, "I never expected to see your face again," sabi niya. "And now God has allowed me to see your children too." Diba? 12. Then Joseph removed them from Israel's knees and bowed down to his face to the ground. And Joseph, okay, pakita niyo. Ito. And Joseph, anong nangyari? Took both of them, diba? Ibe-bless na kasi, no? Si Ephraim on his right towards Israel's left. Okay, ganito. So siguro nakaupo sa kama si Jacob. Sa left ni Jacob, left hand, itinapat ni Joseph si Ephraim. Si Ephraim, yung bunso. Di ba? And towards Israel left hand. And Manasseh on his left toward Israel's right hand. Ang pagbe-bless kasi is right hand. So itinapat ni Joseph sa right hand ni Israel na yun ang pang-bless, yung kanyang si Manasseh na yung kanyang panganay. Tapos itinapat naman niya yung sa left hand ni Israel yung si Ephraim na yun ang bunso. Di ba? Ang pag-bless ay yung panganay. Di ba?
Sa right hand.
Sa right hand. Tingnan nyo ha. Pagdating ng 14, but, ngunit, Israel, Jacob, reached out his right hand and put it on Ephraim's hand. Ibig sabihin, imbis na yung right hand ni Jacob, iaano lang niya, nasa tapat lang niya si Manase, dapat doon. Pero kinoros niya doon sa kabila, sa tapat ng left hand niya. 'Di ba? 'Di ba?
Kung asaan si
Kung
Ephraim.
saan andun si Ephraim, and toward Israel's right hand and brought them close to him. Tama? 'Di ba? But Israel reached out his right hand and put on Ephraim's head, doon sa bunso. 'Di ba? Though he was the younger. And crossing his arm, he put his left hand on Manasseh's head, even though Manasseh was the firstborn. Na-picture niya ba? Ha? Na-picture niyo yun? Si Joseph gusto niya i-bless ni Jacob yung panganay, 'di ba? Pero ang nangyari, although siya ay yung kanyang mga mata ay medyo malabo na, pero he was able to see na yung kanyang ibe-bless talaga ay yung panganay o bunso? Yung bunso.
Si Ephraim.
Di ba? Kapares nung nangyari kay Joseph, di ba? Siya yung bunso, di ba? During that time, di ba? Nung nanaginip siya, sabi niya, ang yung mga matatanda na niyang mga kapatid will bow down to him. Pati yung parents niya will bow down to him. So nag-rebel sila, hindi sila pumayag. Ito this time ganun din. 'Di ba? Ganun din kasi yung bunso ang magiging ibe-bless ni Jacob. Then he blessed Joseph and said, "May the God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walk faithfully, the God who has been my shepherd all my life to this day, the angel who has delivered me from all harm, may he bless these boys. May they be called by my name," diba? And the names of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and may they increase greatly on the earth. 17. When Joseph saw his fathers placing his right hand on Ephraim's head, he was displeased. Di ba? Yung parang he was disappointed. Di ba? So he took hold on his father's hand to move it from Ephraim to Manasseh. So ang ginawa ni Joseph, kinuha niya yung kamay na nakapatong kay Ephraim at ipinatong niya kanino? Kay Manasseh, doon sa panganay. Di ba? Parang nung panahon ni Joseph ay ni Esau at saka si Jacob, di ba? Yung pinag-aawayan kung sino talaga yung i-bless eh. 18. Joseph said to him,
"No, my father.
No, my father. This one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head." Diba? But his father refused and said, sabi niya, "I know my son. Alam ko." Sabi niya, although ano na yung mata ko, pero I know what I'm doing. Kasi alam ko yung prophecy. Parang sinabi na sa akin ng Lord yan. Diba? I know, my son, I know. He too will become a people and he too will become great. Sabi niya, yang si Manasseh, magiging yan, he will become great. Diba? Nevertheless, itong si Ephraim, God chooses this, the younger brother will be greater than he. Yun eh. Di ba? Parang si Joseph, parang hindi pa rin niya matanggap yung nangyari sa kanya noon, di ba? Yung nangyari sa kanya noon, hindi matanggap ng mga kapatid niya. Eto siya ngayon, parang, hindi ba? Parang hindi niya matanggap na yung the younger will serve, di ba? The older, di ba?
The older will serve the younger.
The older will serve the younger, di ba? Nevertheless, the younger brother will be greater than he. Rin siya, sabi niya, will become descendant. Pero ito, mas maraming nations will become a group Sabi niya, a group of nations. He blessed them that day and said, in your name will Israel pronounce this blessing. May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. So he put Ephraim ahead of Manasseh. Diba? So wala nang nagawa si Joseph doon. Then Israel said to Joseph, I am about to die. Yan niya, iho, mamamatay na ako. But God will be with you and take you back to the land of your fathers, and to you I give one more reach of land than to your brothers. The reach I took from the Amorites with my swords and my bow. So sabi lang ni Israel dito, Joseph, I will die na. Di ba? At balang araw, yung land dun sa Canaan, babalik kay Ron. Di ba? And I will give you another land that more than your brothers, a reach I took from my Amorites. Di ba? With my sword and my bow. So, pero itong Amorites na to, walang record dito sa
before
na si Jacob pala nag-at war pala siya at sumakop pala siya ng isang tribes, mga Amorites. Sabi niya, with my sword and my bow. Okay, that's 48.
Yun lang natin na
okay.
yan.
So let's go to 49.
Hanggang ng 49.
Talagang pinag-aawayan talaga yung yung firstborn, di ba? Okay.
Dali ha.
Etong 49, ito naman si Jacob, ito yung sinabi niyo sa mga anak niya kung ano yung future nila. Di ba? Akalain mo yon? Sinasabi ng tatay mo kung ano ang mangyayari sa iyo. What is your future? Di ba?
So, after, andyan na si Joseph, si Manasseh, at saka si Ephraim. Pero pinatawag niya, gather around so I can tell you what will happen to you in the days to come. And sa ibang in the last days. Ayun sa ibang version, no? Gaya ng ibang Bible characters sa Old Testament, Jacob concluded his life by giving a blessing before he died. Si Isaac, ganun din ang ginawa sa chapter 27. Si Moses sa sa Deuteronomy chapter 33. Si Joshua sa Joshua chapter 24. At saka si Samuel sa 1 Samuel chapter 12. So dito nakita natin, then Jacob called for his sons and said, gather around so I can tell you what will happen in the days to come. Assemble and listen, sons of Jacob. Listen to your father Israel. Pagkatapos na i-bless si Joseph sa chapter 48, at saka pinatawag niya yung mga anak niya, and ito yung pinaka-last significant act niya as a patriarch, as the heir to Abraham and Isaac. He prophesied blessings upon each of his sons, one by one. So nakita natin dito, yung spiritual maturity ni Israel dito. Ang purpose ni God sa kanya as Israel and what he had to battle against as Jacob, di ba? What will happen in the last days to come, or Israel in the latter days, or the days of the end. Kung ano mangyayari sa Israel at the end of the age bago ma-establish ang kingdom ng Messiah. So this reminds us that the patriarchs, sila yung propeta ni God nung panahon nila. So yung words of Jacob are divinely inspired revelation of God, yung plan for each tribe, particularly in the last days. So yung tribe na yun, 12 anak niya. Sa verse 3, Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, the first sign of my strength, excellent in honor, excellent in power, turbulent as the waters, you will no longer excel, for you went up onto your father's bed, onto my couch, and defiled it. So, Yung turbulence sa ibang version, boiling over like water, meaning di niya makontrol ang lust niya. Walang disiplina talaga. As a firstborn, dapat sa kanya lahat at talaga yung birthright eh. Pero dahil sa fornication niya, na may kasamang incest din, di ba? Dahil nanay yun ng kapatid niya, he forfeited his birthright. Because of his instability, na-divide yung birthright among the brothers. So, dapat ang firstborn ang spiritual at saka social leader ng family. Yung kasalanan ni Ruben left a lasting infamy upon his family. So, let us never do evil para we do not fear being told of it, di ba? Si Ruben, example to na how the first could be the last, di ba? Yet si Jacob at saka si God remembered this event. Lagi, naalala nila palagi itong kasalanan ni Ruben na to. So alam natin na ang fornication, ang adultery, ayaw talaga ni God yan. Ha? The prophecy kay Ruben is a reminder that if we do not act to discipline the flesh and control our lust, we run the risk of disqualifying ourselves sa blessings that the Lord offers. If our lifestyle is dictated by our sins, we cannot find the joy of our salvation, yung fellowship ni God, di ba? And God will always hold us accountable sa sins natin. Di ba? Ang significant people sa tribe na to, wala talaga, walang judge, walang prophet, walang king from this tribe. Except Dathan and Abira. Kilala niyo ba si Dathan and Abira? Sila yung famous na nag-rebel kay Moses. So yun yung galing sa kay Ruben, sa tribe ni Ruben. Ang sa akin, the story of Ruben's tribe stands as a testament to the consequences na nagre-result kung hindi natin makokontrol ang mga desires natin, wrong desires. So, ayun. Sa verse 5 naman, Simeon and Levi are brothers. Their swords are weapons of violence. Let me not enter the council, let me not join their assembly, for they have killed men in their anger and hamstruck oxen as they please. Diba? Itong brothers ito, forever connected sila eh. Kasi pareho sila ng ugali at saka pareho silang sila yung infamous sa Shechem, di ba? Dinidepend lang doon nila yung honor ng sister nila. Pero may evil motives talaga sila. Vengeance and wrath yung nasa heart nila. At saka nag-react sila with anger, sobrang anger. Di ba? Minsan kasi nakakalimutan natin that God sees our heart. Alam niya kung ano talaga yung motibo natin and reason why we do things. Si Simeon at si Levi never received land of their own dito sa sa 12 tribes na to, nakikitira lang sila entirely inside each other's tribes. Si Simeon inherited the land in the middle of Judah's vast inheritance. And then unti-unti silang nag-scatter everywhere, kaya hindi sila naging prominent tribe. Si Levi naman, wala talaga na-inherit na land kasi ironically, ang descendants niya inherited the priesthood until the coming of Christ. Responsibility nila is to pour out, yung responsibility ng mga Levites, di ba, is to pour out the wrath of God on all the sacrificial animals. Talagang descendants niya tinuloy ang ginawang, at talaga, parang, di ba pinaslang nila lahat yung walang kamalay-malay na mga animals. Yung pa rin ang descendants niya, di ba? Parang animals sa Shechem lang. So, sa verse 6, let me not enter their council, let me not join their assembly, for they have killed men in their anger and hamstruck oxen as they please. Minasakar nila lahat ng lalaki, ginawa nila numpo lahat ng legs sa animal, so wala namang kasalanan sa kanila. Kunyari, di ba, kalabo ka, binali o pinutol maski isang paa mo, makakapagsaka ka ba? So ginawa nilang useless at walang pakinabang ang mga kawawang hayop. Tapos 7, cursed be their anger, so fierce and their fury, so cruel, I will scatter them in Jacob and disperse them in Israel. Diba? So, yun yung in-illustrate lang nila na talagang yung temper nila, talagang uncontrollable. They did evil in the sight of God. And ito, lagi nare-remember ni God at saka ni Jacob. This illustrates the principle that the sins of our past can come back and haunt us, even when forgiven, may consequences pa rin that we have to face for a lifetime. The Bible speaks of godly anger, di ba? Be angry and do not sin sa Ephesians. And ang godly anger, yung lahat ng bitterness, wrath, anger, be put away from you, sabi nga sa Ephesians 4:31. Diba? Ito yung the tribe of Simeon became small during the wilderness and wanderings or nung Exodus. They started out from Egypt being the third largest tribe sa Numbers 1:23. Pero 35 years later, at the second wilderness census of Israel, 63% ng tribe nag-perish. So naging very small, sila yung naging smallest tribe according to Numbers 26:14. So the prophecy of dividing and scattering became a blessing for Levi. Dahil sa faithfulness ng Levi tribe during the rebellion of the golden calf sa Exodus, remember? Diba? Itong scattered, that's a blessing throughout the whole nation of Israel. They received no large tract of land, for the Lord was their inheritance, not the land. Kasi nga, priest, nila, di ba? The lesson from the tribe of Simeon is that the vicious anger prevent us from separating the sinner from the sin, which can cause us to engage in sinful acts ourselves. Unlike the fate of Simeon's tribe, the fate of Levi's tribe is a lesson and punishment as well as grace. The Bible tells us that the patriarch Jacob lay dying. He bestowed blessing on each of his 12 sons. These blessings also included prophecy as to the fate of each son's tribe in Canaan. The 12 tribes individually bore the names of Jacob's sons, di ba? And what can we learn from the tribe of Reuben? So ang natin dito, kailangan ang na-learn ko naman dito kay Levi is that kahit na gaanong makasalanan ka, kapag pinatawad ka ng Panginoon, kapag may redeeming values din naman tayo, di ba? Kumbaga yung talagang yung sacrifice of the golden calf sa Exodus, di ba? Talagang inano nila yan ni Aaron, di ba? Yung tribe nila. So merong gagawa ang Panginoon. God is very forgiven. And magkakaroon ka na, yung forgiveness niya, yung grace niya, bibigyan ka ng mahalagang purpose naman, di ba? So, asan na ba tayo, Mike? Judah. Okay, Judah na tayo, di ba? So, imagine niyo, di ba? Sa judgment of the tribes of Reuben, Simeon, and Levi, akala mo God was not acting fairly kasi parang negative lahat, di ba? Kasi ang mapapansin mo rito, they have passed the respective traits sa kanilang tribe. So parang ang Panginoon, para makikita mo, protecting Israel from these men and their defects, spreading among their descendants. And kings will not arise from these lines after their nature. Walang kings talaga dito sa mga to. So imagine nyo, 3 strikes na all negative on prophecy ni Jacob. Siguro si Judah, kinakabahan na. Tapos verse 8, Judah, your brothers will praise you. Judah is the true blessing, gaya ni Joseph. Ito yung longest blessing. So nagbago tono naman ni Jacob kasi nga, sa tribe ni Judah, Christ would come. Hindi exemplary model si Judah, ha? Siya yung nagsuggest na pagkakitaan si Joseph. Di ba siya yung had sex with his daughter-in-law na napagkamalang niyang prostitute, di ba? Ang dami niyang ginawa na hindi tama, pero at the end, na-redeem niya yung sarili niya because nga he offered himself as a substitute for Benjamin. Overall, yung nakita natin yung richness ng God's grace to the undeserving kay Judah, di ba? Ito yung kasi nga sa kanya manggagaling yung line ni Jesus Christ ng Messiah. Sige, your hand will be on the neck of your enemies, your father's son will bow down to you. So makikita natin yung tribe of Judah we will ultimately see the other tribes bowing down, di ba, kay Judah. Kasi kings of Israel kings will rise from Judah. We see clearly, 'di ba si David, si Saul, galing kay Judah yan. So yun talagang you are a Lions Club, Judah 9, and you return from the prey, my son, like a lion who crouches and lies down, like a lioness who dares to rouse him. So for the first time, kinumpare si Judah sa lion, di ba? He will have power, authority, mastery over all adversaries, like the coming Messiah who is called the Lion of Judah. Diba? And the scepter will not depart from Judah, nor the ruler stop from between his feet until yung sa ibang Shiloh ang nakalagay dito. To whom it belongs shall come, and obedience of the nation shall be his. Ang this testifies to Jesus' supremacy and eternal rule. And ang staff will not depart into his feet until he whom it belongs, who is Christ, who's right, kapag sa pagdating ni Jesus Christ. Tapos sa 11, he will tether his donkey to a vine, his colt to the choicest branch. He will wash his garments in wine and robes in blood of grapes. Ibig sabihin, magiging very prosperous, di ba? Ang tribe ni Judah. So makikita natin, ang leadership prophecy took 640 years to fulfill in part with the reign of David. Diba? After 640 years yun, nung sinabi ni Jacob to. First of Judah's dynasty of king kasi si David. The prophecy took some 1,600 years to completely fulfill in Jesus. So, makikita natin from David until yung promise was that Israel would keep this scepter until Jesus comes. Sa tribe ni Judah nagmula ang sina David, sina Isaiah, si Amos, Joel, Micah, Obadiah, Zechariah, Zephaniah, ganoon. Sa 30 naman, si Zebulun will live by the seashore and become a heaven for sheep. His border will extend toward Sidon. Yung tribe of Zebulun was noted for its faithfulness kay David. Sila yung nagsusupply ng largest number of soldiers sa army ni David sa lahat ng tribes. There, kung kunyari 50,000 who went out to battle, talaga expert sila sa war, kaya talaga napapakinabangan ni David during that time. Yung ang nila, sabi, sitting between Mediterranean Sea and the Sea of Galilee. Pero pag nakita ninyo sa sa mapa ng mga tribes, hindi talaga siya literally nasa sea, but overlooking the silang. Pwede ko bang iano sa inyo? Makaya na ha? Okay. Ang mga naggaling naman sa Zebulun, yung judge na Elon, na makikita natin sa Judges. And yun lang yun lang ang nakita ko. At saka si Jonah pala. Si Jonah yung sa and the fish, yun. Galing to kay Zebulun. Siguro yung lesson na makikita natin sa dito is yung reputation ng tribe na to. There are blessings to be had in living close to nature and practicing valor and loyalty. Kaya kay David nga. Yung kay Issachar naman is a row-born donkey lying down among the sheep pens. When he sees how good his resting place and how pleasant his land, he bend with shoulder to the burden and submit forced labor. Sa Issachar talaga hindi ko maintindihan to eh. Physically strong siya, given to manual labor and service, pero sobrang tamad, walang ambisyon, walang pangarap sa buhay. Okay lang whatever will be, willing to accept any form of slavery working for others, including Canaanites, to maintain the produce of his land. So, parang they traded the obedience to God for the material pleasures of the land. So, ang kasama dito sa tribe na to, si Barak,
Barack Obama.
yung Barak, yung prophet na to si Deborah, marami, si Judge Tola, Jehoshaphat, si yun ang nakita kong sa tribe na to. Sa 60 naman, Dan will produce justice for his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Like his name, Dan will be a judge, di ba? And in keeping with the tribe of Dan produced Samson, the most prominent of all the judges. Pero Dan was also the first tribe to practice idolatry. Siya yung nag-start ng rebellion that eventually split the nation of Israel. So, ang laking pagkakamali talaga yung Dan, hanggang sa na-overtook nga sa Assyrian Empire, eh. Di ba? Kaya, dahil sa idolatry na to. So, yung scripture show na the tribe of Dan will have land designated for them during the millennial kingdom. They will continue to reject God in the tribulation, and they will turn God at the end of the millennial kingdom because our God will draw them to Christ. So, ayun, ang descendants ng Dan naman, wala akong nakita talaga, pero ngayon daw na makikita mo sila sa Wales, sa Ireland, sa Scotland, Denmark, US. As Christians naman, the story of Dan reminds us of how easily we can compromise our faith when we follow our own will and not God's will. So, si God naman, sa 19, God will be attacked. Excuse me, mag-iinom muna ako, Mike. Yung 19.
Medyo
Ang haba kasi yan.
Medyo tiring talaga to. Yeah. So, ang ano lang kasi rito, itong 12 tribes, bakit ba kailangan na isinulat itong prophecy na mangyayari dun sa
pertaining pa rin kasi yan sa millennium.
Kasi ito yung magiging ito yung magiging
the last
Israel
days.
talaga. So, saan ka na?
19. God will be attacked by a band of raiders, but He will attack them at their heels. So, yung territory niya sa eastern Israel across Jordan. So vulnerable siya talaga sa sa raids, pero lagi siya mananalo, di ba? Yun ang naman dito. The lesson learned naman from the tribe of God is that we will reap the rewards of steadfastly obeying God. This tribe also teaches us to look beyond the fulfillment of our own needs and help others reach their goals. Kasi makikita niyo sa mga ibang books of the Bible, lagi silang tumutulong sa other tribes, okay? Sa Asher naman, Asher's food will be rich. He will provide delicacy fit for a king. Nabigyan kasi siya ng best land in the nation, very fertile yung ground niya. As a result, na-enjoy niya na yung rich food, oily food, symbol of richness, and ibig sabihin, he will continue to be a wealthy tribe. And ito yung rito, magaganda kasi yung mga anak niya. The daughters of the tribe of Asher had a good reputation of being very beautiful, and they were sought after as wives by the priests and the kings of Israel. Kaya pala sobrang yaman. Kaya pala yung, di ba, yung provide delicacy fit for a king. Ayun. So, si Naphtali naman is a doe set free that bears beautiful beautiful pawns, no? Yung tribe nito, it's a reference to the way yung territory kasi niya very mountainous, creating a degree of independence among this tribe. So, pero din siya, malapit din siya sa Sea of Galilee. The region where Jesus did much of his teaching and ministry. Dito nag-start ang si Jesus, di ba? Since this tribe live in Galilee, pero very lowly ang status niya during that time, yung kay Jesus. Pero sila yung first to hear the preaching of the kingdom of God through Jesus Christ, diba? At this tribe teaches us that human nature is often contradictory, filled with moments of courage and cowardice, and most importantly, this tribe proves that God ultimately blesses the least of all, the poorest of the poor, di ba? Okay, tapos si Joseph is a fruitful vine sa 22. Um, ito yung alam na natin, no? Description ni Joseph, personal blessing concerning his descendants. Yung tribe niya greatly blessed talaga. And his sons received their blessings in Genesis 48, di ba? A fruitful vine near the spring. Um, Jacob granted a double portion to Joseph's two sons, but Joseph himself only received Jacob's land in Shechem. Natatandaan nyo, may land si Joseph sa Shechem. Nevertheless, the tribe of Joseph, magiging two tribes yan. Which is talagang magiging blessed tribe, lalo na sa Ephraim, na magiging Israel. With sa 23, with bitterness and archers attack him, they shot him with hostility. Kinaano lang yung mga pinagdaanan ni Joseph dito. But his bow remained steady and his arms stayed limber. Kumbaga yung faith niya, alam ni Jacob na talagang ang pinanghawakan lang ni Joseph all sa pang-aapi sa kanya is his faith. Because of the hand of the mighty one of Jacob, because of the shepherd, the rock of Israel. Ito si Jesus to, di ba? Dito makikita natin, may mga inaano rin, di ba? Yung pertaining to Jesus. Because of your father's God who helps you, because of the Almighty who blesses you with blessings of the sky above, blessings of the deep spring below, blessings of the breast and womb. Okay? Ito yung, ang territory naman ni Joseph around the Jordan River. Diba? Ito yung malapit sa Mount Hermon. Makikita natin mamaya sa ipapakita ko sa inyo. 26, your father's blessing are greater than the blessings of the ancient mountains, than the bounty of the age-old hills. Let all this rest on the head of Joseph, on the brow of the prince among his brothers. Talagang Jacob speaks of yung mga tremendous blessing na marireceive ni Joseph sa Panginoon. That the blessing that even exceeded that was given to Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. The only way to understand that statement is to see to it a final picture of Christ in the life of Joseph. Di ba parang hindi nyo napansin, but yung life ni Joseph, ano yan para ano ni Jesus Christ? Although hindi sa kanya manggagaling ang Messiah. So, your Benjamin naman, kay Benjamin na tayo. Is a ravenous wolf. In the morning, he devours the prey. In the evening, he divides the plunder. So, ito naman yung may reputation tawag na si Benjamin as a fierceness at saka warlike, strong daring. At saka yung tinitake niya yung spoils ng enemy. Pero may dark side siya, yung warlike nature niya, not only depend in their country, nakikita natin din sa scripture, they fought against, nakikipaglaban siya sa mga 11 tribes. No, sa civil, yung makita sa Judges 19 to makikita natin. So, sino ang famous person sa tribe ng Benjamin? Si Paul, si Saul, si Mordecai, si Esther, and marami rin sa sa Ehud, marami rin makikita tayong mga galing dito sa So these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father said to them when he blessed them, giving each the blessing appropriate to him.
Okay. Sige. I'll take over dito. So guys, ito ay yung parang yung last ni Jacob na ito yung parang bilin niya sa kanyang mga anak sa 12, di ba? Pero actually it is a prophecy, di ba? Halimbawa, guys, if you are in the place of the 12 tribes, yung 12 son ni Jacob, at sinabi niya itong mga prophecy sa kanila, ano magiging reaction niyo? Hindi, meron kasi hindi maganda, di ba?
Lalo na
di
sa tatlo.
Actually, di ba? Yung, ano ba talaga yung purpose? Bakit sinabi ni, Bakit sinabi ni Jacob dito sa mga kanyang mga anak? ano ang magiging advantage niyan nung nalaman ng mga kapatid nila what will happen to them? Parang tayo, halimbawa, father natin, 'di ba, malapit nang mamatay, although tayo na yung father ko, sabihin sa'yo, this is what will happen to you. 'Di ba, parang ganyan yan, 'di ba? All these are the 12 tribes of Israel. This is what their father said to them when he blessed them, giving each of the blessing appropriate to him. Okay. Ano muna tayo? Question. Ano sa palagay ninyo?
Tingin ko, Brother Mike, hello?
Oh, sige, Joey.
Brother Mike,
Oh, anong niya?
tingin ko siguro kaya sinabi ni Jacob doon sa mga anak niya, no? Kasi hindi pa naman mangyayari to eh. Kasi magiging slave sila for 400 years eh. Di ba? Matagal pa kasi yung mga anak niya hindi niya mararanasan yan. Ang makakaranas yan yung mga descendant niya. Imagine 400 years sila sa Egypt. Paglabas nila sa Egypt, 40 years pa sila paikot-ikot sa disyerto. Siguro mangyayari lang yan pagdating lang dun sa panahon ni Joshua. No? So, siguro kaya sinabi siguro ni Jacob sa mga anak niya para paghandaan nila at siguro pwede pa nila mabago yung mangyayari kasi hindi naman lahat ng sinabi ni Jacob maganda sa kanila, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Ang maganda lang na sinabi kay
Joseph.
Judah,
Okay,
kay Naphtali, kay
Naphtali,
Joseph,
Gad.
kay Sibulum siguro. Pero kila Gad tsaka kila medyo hindi maganda tsaka kay Isakar. Parang merong hindi masyadong maganda yung hula ni yung pinakita ng Diyos Ama kay Jacob kung ano yung mangyayari in the
Yeah. Kung ikaw doon,
future.
kung ikaw doon,
So, so
isa
yung
sa
tingin ko lang
mga
para
anak,
mabago.
Joey, halimbawa, ikaw sa mga anak, hindi maganda ang ano sinabi siya, anong gagawin mo?
Oh. Siyempre, siguro pag-iisip ko kung ako, pag-iisipan ko na siguro kung paano ko sasabihin sa descendant ko yung mangyayari para makaiwas sila. Di ba? Parang ano yun generational sin nang nangyayari dyan. Lalo na doon kay Ruben, tsaka doon kay Simeon, tsaka kay Levi,
Kaya
na
kay Dan,
walang namana.
kay
Wala
Dan,
silang namana.
diba?
Lalo kay Dan, di ba? Baga sa pag alam ko, tumalikod siya sa faith eh. Di ba? Parang nagkaroon siya ng problema tapos hindi na siya sumampalataya sa Diyos nila. In fact, may napakinggan nga ako na yung nag-iba siya ng faith. Siya pa yung una nagtayo ng ng false mga idol. Kaya yung ibang mga kapatid niya nakita siya.
Di ba nung pumunta kayo sa
Yun
Israel,
lang, parang baga sa
nung
opo,
pumunta kayo sa Israel, ang Dan, yan yung parang sa Pilipinas,
yes,
yan yung dulong-dulo sa north. Parang yan yung ano yung dulo.
opo,
Gates of Dan.
Oh, Dan.
Palaging
Oo.
Gates of Dan.
Tapos makikita mo na dyan yung mga
because
Assyrian.
of that.
Kasi kinonquer
Oo
yan
nga.
Assyria
Mm-mm.
during that time eh.
Sila yung unang-unang nawala eh.
Yes.
Tapos si Joey,
Sayang sana, opo,
sa prophecy na na hindi, lahat itong mga 12 tribes na to, lahat na itong mga 12 sons na to, namatay sila sa Egypt.
Pati yung mga apo nila.
Lahat
opo,
ibang
Apo-apo.
generation eh.
Oo.
Oh, tingnan niyo pagdating ng
yes,
Exodus, iba na to eh. Iba na nangyari eh. Iba,
opo,
iba na yung sumalin-salin na eh. Di ba? So, ituloy ko lang ito
opo.
the death of Jacob.
Yes, sir.
He gave them this instruction, I'm going to be gathered to my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave in the field of Ephron the Hittites, the cave in the field of Machpelah near Mamre in Canaan, which Abraham brought along with the field as a burial place for Ephron the Hittites. There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. Ito yung binili ni Abraham na lote na para para ilibing yung kanyang wife Sarah. Pero ito is cave. Hindi parang ito Loyola, guys, ha. These are caves. 'Di ba? Doon nilibing si Abraham. Gusto ni Jacob doon din. Si Isaac kasi diyan din nilibing.
Saka si Rebecca.
Saka si
Si
Rebecca.
Abraham.
Oo. Yan. And there I his wife, 'di ba? Sarah was buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebecca were buried. And there I buried Leah. So, saan napunta si Rebecca, yung kanyang si Rachel, yung kanyang true love. San nilibing?
Nasa 48 yan.
Oo. Hindi doon.
Mention.
Akalain nyo hindi doon. 'Di ba?
Namatay kasi
Sa ano siya? Sa Bethlehem siya nilibing.
Oo, sa Bethlehem.
Namatay kasi siya doon.
Kasi along the way,
Bethlehem.
namatay siya. 'Di ba? So, ang kasama ni Jacob dito sa nung namatay siya, si Leah. 'Di ba? Tapos, the field and the cave in it were brought from Hittites. Okay? When Jacob had finished giving instruction to his son, he drew his feet up into the bed. Tingnan nyo ha. Pagkatapos giving instruction, he drew his feet up to the bed. Pumalik siya sa bed. Siguro nakaupo sa bed, humiga, breathed his last and was gathered to his people. Yeah, matay siya. Diba? Nung namatay ba siya, nandun si Joseph?
Yes.
Nandun pa. Sige,
instruction to his son.
Let's go to 50. Parang last niya, Diba? Pagkasabi niya, pagkatapos, namatay. Ganon talaga, guys. Alam niyo ba pagka yung kasi kwento ko lang yung father and mother ko nung namatay sila, wala ako ron. Pero bago namatay sila, I was able to embrace them. Lalo nung namatay yung mother ko, nasaan ba tayo? Ikaw, nasa state ka, no?
Nasa Bohol.
Kami nasa Bohol.
Nasa Bohol tayo.
Nung bago pumunta ako ng Bohol,
nasa state ako.
dinalaw ko yung nanay ko, nasa ate ko eh. Yung hindi na sila makakilala, wala na silang sabihin. Pero yun yung huling yakap ko sa kanya. Yun na pala yung huling iyon. Di ba? So, chapter 50, Joseph threw himself on his father and wept over him and kissed him. Guys, this is very important. Alam ko buhay pa yung mga magulang niyo. Sama hindi pa. So sana ay bago sila mawala sa atin ay will be able to kiss him or embrace him or makasama niyo man lang.
Dito si Joseph, nakita natin, was able to bring his father closer to him, di ba? Dinala niya sa Egypt.
Yeah,
pero hindi niya binigyan ng enough time. Wala masyadong bonding moments with him. Kaya sobrang busy siya kasi sa work niya. So up to the last minute, siya, di ba, siya kasi talaga inaasahan ni Pharaoh eh. So very makabagbag damdamin tong he threw himself. Yeah. Di ba?
And then Joseph directed the physicians in his service to embalm his father Israel. Kaya ganito sinabi ni Joseph, ang physicians, ang inano niya para embalm. Kasi dun sa Egypt, dalawang klase yung pag-embalm niya. Whether you be embalmed by a physician or whether you be embalmed by a religious group.
Religious ritual.
Or religious ritual. Kapares yung ginagawa ng mga Egyptian, yung famous, yung mami, yung ibabalot ka, lalagyan ka ng mga herbs
may
to
mga
preserve.
Ritual.
Hindi pumayag si Joseph doon. So ang ginawa niya, he directed the physicians in his service to embalm his father Israel. So the physicians embalmed him, taking a full 40 days. for that was the time required for embalming. Ano yung embalming sa Tagalog?
Balsamo.
Imbalsamo, di ba? So, hindi ba pag may namatay, 40 days, yun ang parang yung, 40 days na, tapos na. Di ba?
Pero ito yung first time na merong Hebrew na embalm.
Na-embalm.
Kasi sila, pagka namatay, kamukha si Rachel, di ba? Agad-agad pagkamatay, nilibeng. Yung hindi mo dapat itatamper ang katawan ng patay sa kanila before.
And the Egyptian mourned for him 7 days. Okay? When the days of mourning has passed, Joseph said to Pharaoh court, if I have found favor in your eyes, speak to Pharaoh for me. Now, tinan nyo guys dito ha, although si Pharaoh is second in command, si Joseph is second in command, he cannot directly, di ba? Hindi siya pwedeng directly pupunta kay Pharaoh. Di ba? He just giving sabihin, he was giving a protocol. Sumusunod pa rin siya sa mga protocol. Although malaki ang although he is second in command, di ba? Found favor in your eyes, speak to Pharaoh for me. Tell him, my father made me swear an oath and said, I'm about to die. Bury me in the tomb I dug for myself in the land of Canaan. Now let me go up and bury my father, then I will return. Parang nagpaalam siya kay Pharaoh para yung kanyang father ibari doon sa Canaan. Kasi yun yung sinabi ni Jacob eh. Okay, so ano sabi ni Pharaoh? Go up and bury your father as he made you swear to do. Kanya. So Joseph went to bury his father, all Pharaoh's official. So lahat ng mga cabinet, secretary ni Pharaoh, sumama kayo kay Joseph. The dignitaries of his court, pati yung mga Supreme Court, and all the dignitaries
senators,
of Egypt,
councilors,
mga ambassadors,
matataas na
diba?
official.
Akalain niyo yun, guys.
Out of respect kay Joseph.
How Pharaoh loved Joseph, diba? Besides, all the members of Joseph's household and his brothers and those belonging to his father's household, only their children and their flocks and herds were left in Goshen. Diba? Hindi na sumama yung mga
grandchildren.
Chariots, kasama pa ang mga chariots, and horsemen also went up with him. It was a very large company.
Longest funeral procession.
Parang nung namatay si
Queen Elizabeth.
Lahat ng dignitaries pinasama ni Pharaoh. Galaan yun guys ha. Look at that, di ba? How Pharaoh loved Joseph.
Longest procession pa yun.
When they reached the threshing floor of Atad near the Jordan, they lamented loudly and bitterly. And there Joseph observed a 7-day period of mourning for his father. Okay. Tama, no? When Canaanites who lived there saw the mourning of the threshing floor of Atad, they said, the Egyptians are holding a solemn ceremony of mourning. That is why the place near the Jordan is called Abel Mizraim. 12. So Jacob's sons did as he has commanded them. They carried him to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave in the field of Macpelah near Mamre, which Abraham was brought along with the field as a burial place from Ephron the Hittites. After burying his father, Joseph returned to Egypt. So bumalik na. Pero together, guys, tinan nyo ha, together with his brother and all the others was gone with him to bury his father. Okay, 15. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, what if Joseph hold a grudge against us and pay us back for all the wrong we did to him? Diba? Ayun pala yun. Diba? So, ibig sabihin, yung mga kapatid niya,
guilty conscience na.
Nagigilty sila.
Except Benjamin.
Yung noon na
ginawa nila.
Na sinabi ni Joseph na pinapatawad ko kayo, parang hindi sila masyadong naniwala. Di ba? So ito yung sinasabi nila nung last na yung yung pagsisisi nila noon is really hindi pa talaga. Di ba? Now that wala na yung kanilang father, nag-aalala sila. Ha? Despite of Joseph, di ba? Na samantalang inalagaan sila. Food, di ba? Nagkaroon nga ng severe famine, di ba? Ano pa rin sila noon? Walang problema, di ba? He was blessed by Joseph eh. And yet, sabi nila, nako, patay tayo. Patay tayo, guys. Patay na yung ating tatay. Paano na tayo? So ang ginawa nila, so they sent forth to Joseph saying, your father left this instruction before he died. Introduction nila. This is what you are to say to Joseph. As I ask you to forgive your brothers the sins and the wrongs they committed in treating you so badly. Now please forgive the sins of the servants of the God of your father. When their message came to him, Joseph wept. So bakit? Guys, bakit naiyak si Joseph? Ang mga kapatid hindi nagsabi kay Joseph So they sent word to Joseph saying,
please forgive.
Please forgive, di ba?
Your brother.
Forgive na yung brothers mo sa wrong had committed so badly. Now please forgive the sin of the servant of God your Father. Ang nagsabi ibang tao, hindi yung mga kapatid. Diba? Malinaw yan.
Pero ito yung form na humingi sila ng tawad.
When their message came to him, Joseph wept. Bakit? Bakit guys? Why do you think Joseph wept? Bakit naiyak siya? Dahil ano?
Ako, Brother Mike. Baka naaawa sa sarili niya.
Ano? Ano, Tessie?
Baka naaawa si Joseph sa sarili. Baka naaawa si Joseph sa sarili niya.
Bakit?
Baka naalala niya lahat yung mga ginawa ng mga
kapatid niya. Oo.
Tapos, hindi naman siya, naiiyak siya kasi alang-alang sa ama niya. Ako pang sa akin pag-iyak niya, naawa siya sa sarili niya, naalala siguro niya yung hirap na naranasan niya sa kamay ng mga kapatid niya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kasi sabi sa 18, his brothers then came
and
threw themselves down before him. We are your slave, they said. So Joseph wept. Okay. Sino pa may ibang opinion? Why Joseph wept? Is it a web of yung awa? Or is it a web of yung 1,000 yung may disappointment? Ano?
Brother Mike, may disappointment.
Yung sinabi kaya nila dito,
Ay, ako. Siguro may disappointment siya kasi despite his efforts of winning back his brothers, hindi pa rin na-realize ng mga kapatid niya na he really mean well for them, providing what they need. Despite that, wala pa rin silang courage bang matatawag doon, to apologize to Joseph personally, no? Why did it why did they have to send somebody to tell Joseph the message of the father of Jacob? Bakit hindi nila madiretsa na to say sorry or to apologize pa? Maybe Joseph was disappointed, so umiyak siya.
Correct, bless. Or in other words, si Joseph is wept because
naramdaman
na niya na ito palang mga kapatid ko. hindi nila naintindihan yung forgiveness ko sa kanila. Akala nila yung forgiveness ko ay conditional. Pag wala na yung kanyang father ay wala na. Di ba? Very sincere si Joseph noon. Nung unang encounter nila. Di ba? Umiyak nga sila, di ba? Yung pala parang ganito. Di ba? All the while pala, after I've given them, sabi nga ni Bless, everything that I've given you, di ba, is a sign of is a sign na talagang napatawad ka na.
Yeah.
For 17 years, inalagaan kayo, hindi kayo nagutom in everything, and then you will say me to that, na dahil ang tatay ko ay wala na ang ating father, I will treat you badly. Diba? But Joseph said to them, 19, do not be afraid. Ito, inassure na naman siya.
Am I in the place of God?
Am I in the place of God? Diba? You intend to harm me. Oh, this is the famous verse.
But God intended it for
But
good.
God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done and saving of many lives. So then, huwag kayong matakot. I will provide you and your children.
I will provide for you and your children.
Diba? Akala,
Yeah.
diba? Para kan tayo, parang meron tayong kapatid na ubundang yaman, siguro bilyonaryo. Diba? Do not be afraid. Tama, ito yung mga kapatid ni Joseph talaga, diba? He has that, yung guilty nila, hindi pa rin talaga maalis. Diba? And then, hindi pa rin nila talaga, parang hindi pa nila yung ma-accept na itong si Joseph is a godly man. Diba? He was chosen by God. So, and he assured them and spoke kindly to them. Okay. 22. Joseph stayed in Egypt along with all his father's family. Okay. He lived 110 years. Okay. And so the third generation of Ephraim's children. Yeah, ito yung talaga yung hinanda kaya inampon ni Jacob sila Ephraim, si Manasseh because of this. Itong mga inahanda nila yung the generations, di ba? Kasi sila yung magtutuloy eh. Also the children of Machir, son of Manasseh, were placed at birth on Joseph's knees. Nakita pa pala ni Joseph, di ba? Diba? Then Joseph said to his brothers, I am about to die. Teka muna, hindi ba mas bata si Joseph? Hindi ba guys? Hindi ba mas bata si Joseph?
Yes.
Oh, so ibig sabihin, yung mga brothers niya live more than 100 years. Di ba? So nauna siyang, siguro sobrang stress ng trabaho niya, di ba? Kaya kayong mga nagtatrabaho, relax lang. Sabi niya, I am about to die. But God will surely come to your aid and take you up out of this land. No, yun yung pinaramis ni Jacob, di ba? Sinabi kay Joseph, yun, mawawala kayo rito. Hindi ito yung pinaramis. Egypt, hindi yun ang pinaramis ni God. Talagang nagkaroon lang ng disobedience. Kung walang disobedience, walang famine, walang Egypt. Diba? And Joseph made the Israelites swear an oath and said, ano sabi? And Joseph made the Israelites swear an oath and said, God will surely come to your aid. Diba? And then you must carry my bones up from this place. So, sabihin, and so Joseph died at the age of 110, and after they embalmed him, he was placed in a coffin in Egypt. So, hindi si Joseph, hindi siya nagpadala doon sa Canaan. Doon siya.
Sa Egypt.
Almost all, lahat talaga ng brothers niya, doon lahat sila namatay. Sa Egypt. Di ba? Tapos sabi niya, God will surely come to your aid and then you must carry my bones. Sigurado si Joseph and even Jacob, hindi kayo tatagal dito sa Egypt. This is the land of promise. The land of promise is in Canaan, dun sa Israel. And you must carry my bones up from this place. Di ba? Kaya nga nung dumating ang mga Israelites doon, dala-dala nila yung
bones ni
Joseph. Yung bones ni Joseph. Maski doon sa Exodus, maski doon sa
wilderness.
Sa wilderness, dala-dala nila 'yon. 'Di ba? Kita nyo, from generations to generations. So Joseph died at the age of 110. So yung mga brother nila, buhay pa. And bam, that's it. Chapter 50.
Tapos na tayo sa Genesis.
Congratulations.
Ay, nako.
Galing.
Diba? So yung the brothers, katapos na matay ni Joseph, di ba? Ano nangyari? Di ba? So hangga't buhay yung Pero na nag-aalaga kay Joseph, okay pa sila. Yeah. Sabihin, they are well taken care of. Diba? Pero palit na ng Pero, after so many generations, yon, maiiba na yon. Maiiba na. Ano yan, Boy?
Ito yung 12 tribes of ancient Israel. So makita mo si Simeon, nasa loob lang siya ng Judah na, pero konti-unti mawawala siya. Pati yung si Dan, ito yung si Manasseh, ito yung kanya.
Ang dami naman.
Ephraim, ito yung kanya. Malaki talaga. Kasi sinabi naman, di ba? Sinabi naman na si Manasseh, magkaano ng Yan. Yan yung yung dinidescribe natin kanina. Kung saan si Asher, Naphtali, Issachar, Gad, Reuben, pero mawala rin ito. Okay, yan lang.
Ma'am Loy.
Yes?
Mangyayari yan sa panahon pa ni Joshua. Tama?
Yeah.
Oo. Yan.
Yung hati-hatian.
Isipin mo,
Panahon pa ni Joshua.